Today, I'd like to talk to you about Germantown samplers and looms. So, there's all types of Germantown weavings. They can be very large, they can even be almost room size. Usually not. They're usually more a blanket size, 4 by 6, 5 by 7. But they also made these small little looms and samplers. This would be a loom like this, where it's still on the loom, and they would make it like this. This was done purposefully so they could sell them at the railroads, and you can see how they were made, how in Navajo would make these weavings. And they're called Germantown because the yarn that they use is generally a 4-ply yarn that came out of the Pennsylvania Germantown mills. They would send these over to the trading posts, like Hubbell's trading post, and the weavers could buy or trade or get on credit the yarn. Now, this was really a wonderful thing for them because they had yarn that they didn't have to weave and spin themselves. It was already done, and they could get great colors. So often you'll see these very much eye dazzler type of Germantown blankets, and you'll see these in the samplers too. The samplers were primarily made for the tourist trade on the railroads or at the trading post, and they probably wouldn't have cost much, maybe 25 cents to buy one of these, and and a weaver could probably make one of these in maybe a few weeks, depending on how good they were and how tight they were. Now, people collect these in today's market, and they primarily want things that are very visual and have great colors. Condition is always important, and a lot of times, because these weren't very expensive to begin with, they often got put in drawers and things, and they'll have moth damage. It's not uncommon to see what we call moth bites on them, where you can see where the warp is showing through where they ate. And generally we don't fix these because it's really not worth it to fix them because they are very tight weavings. They're extremely tight weavings. So what's the cost? What's the value of these things? Well, if you get one that's in poor condition or not great condition, it might only bring $50 to $75. But generally, as they get in better condition, or if they have an eye dazzler quality like this one might, they could bring, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how good they are. And if they happen to have things like trains in them, which they often did in the loom form and in these sampler forms. They're rare, but they did do them. Those could bring 5 to 7,000 if they're a really great one, because those are really rare. Things that have pictorial in these looms and in these samplers are very, very collectible. So these are the kind of things you might find in an antique store or something that was mislabeled because they don't maybe not look like they're a lot, but believe me, Germantown samplers and looms, they're great, they're highly collectible, so keep your eye peeled for them.